What's up, PrizeFight fans? I'm Brian Tong, and this is an epic Apple versus Google prize fight that you'll be talking about when it's over. It's a PrizeFight punch-out between iOS 6.13 and pure Android Jelly Bean 4.22. We're bringing the whole mobile team on for this one. Our judges for this fight are senior editor Jessica Duke It Out Dolecourt, senior editor Brian Boom Boom Bennett, associate editor Lynn Fighty La, and myself, Ring-a-ling-a-ding-tong. Now we'll take all 4 judges' scores and average them out to the nearest 10th each round. The final PrizeFight score will be an average of all rounds using the same system. It's a 4-round beatdown. Round 1 is designed. Do looks matter when it comes to a mobile operating system? You bet it does, and all of our judges agree that iOS is easy to use, but it doesn't look much different than every previous version of iOS with its rounded corner icons. Now, in some of its specific apps, it still uses a skeuomorphism design where a note app looks like a notepad, or something like Game Center has a felt poker table design. I know, iOS fans, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but iOS needs a major overhaul to be fresh, sleek, and sexy again. Now, Jelly Bean has a clean, modern design that looks and feels like it's from the future, and it's consistent across the board with its native apps. Its menu transitions and even something like the lock screen add some visual eye candy. Jelly Bean gets a perfect 5, and iOS gets a 4. Next round is user interface and navigation. We've said it over and over that iOS has the easiest pick-up-and-play user interface on any mobile device to date, and that won't change. You can create folders for multiple apps, and it has more functions like swiping down from the top for notifications that is one of the few truly customizable parts of iOS. It gets a little more advanced with double tapping the home button for currently used apps and controls, or holding it down to access Siri for its voice features. But its biggest drawback is that it's so locked down that real customization is pretty much non-existent. Now, Jelly Bean admittedly isn't the easiest operating system to pick up and play, and you'll have to learn how to use some of its features. But it's not that bad, and there's a point where you want your phone to do more, and a good amount of people are there. Customization is king here with creating folders for apps. Android introduced the notifications pull down, but also being able to customize your home screens with specific widgets that give you more control over the phone, and you can even customize your type of lock screen. This is really a personal preference of ease of use versus more customization, and eventually there will be one with both, but iOS takes this round with the 4.8 and Jelly Bean gets a 4. So after averaging 2 rounds, Jelly Bean has the edge. Next round is features. iOS 6 kept many features from iOS 5 the same, improving some and redoing others, like Maps. Now, Apple Maps has turn-by-turn directions, but it falls behind, lacking public transit directions. There's no Google Street View, and maps that still aren't as accurate right now. Sure, its 3D can look pretty good with that flyover feature, but it's still more style than substance. Now, Google Maps has stayed the same and improved on their foundation and is still the undisputed best Maps app on mobile with accurate turn-by-turn navigation, public transit options, and you can even use compass mode on Street View. Siri is more useful with sports, movies, and food recommendations, but it still isn't accurate enough, and it takes way too long to get information back from its servers. What do I mean by that? Who is Bruce Lee?
Checking on that. Here's what I found.
That's what I mean. Now, Google's voice recognition for search and voice to text is so much faster and more accurate, and Google Now for local happenings around you, traffic and weather, is their answer to Siri. Then we have iOS's Passbook that has some potential, but no one is really using it, and the lack of NFC hurts. Where Jelly Bean brings native NFC support with Android Beam for wirelessly sending content from one phone to another, although it could be faster, and you have Google Wallet built into the OS as well. They still need to perfect it, but iOS doesn't have anything like it baked in. Both OSs pull from their ecosystem, Apple's iCloud and Google services, sync your mail, contacts, and calendars, and wirelessly uploading of photos as well. Apple calls theirs PhotoStream, Google calls it instant upload. Now, iOS's FaceTime is more integrated into the OS for video calls, and you can use any third-party app on Jelly Bean like Skype. But Jelly Bean brings even more, like a gesture-based keyboard typing option that actually works really well, and a notifications drop-down that allows you to respond to emails from it and have quick access to your key services on the phone. And please, don't tell me iOS's Game Center is really a legit feature. Jelly Bean takes round 3 with a perfect 5, and iOS 6 gets a 3.8. So after 3 rounds, Jelly Bean is ahead by half a point, but it's still anyone's fight. The final round that decides it all is ecosystem. Apple pretty much created the most successful content ecosystem, and it all started with the foundation of iTunes, where you'll still have the biggest library of content for music, TV shows and movies, and iTunes exclusives or bonus tracks that you just can't find on other stores. Then you throw in the App Store, and it's almost unfair. It's really no secret that when developers build an app, they typically do it for iOS first and then Android, and that's not Google's fault, it's just the reality. Google was late to the content party, but it started to catch up, and the Play Store is now a legitimate option for media content like movies, music, books, and magazines. iOS takes the final round with a perfect 5, and Jelly Bean gets a 4. So let's average out all 4 rounds, and in a prize fight where Google jumped out early, Apple fought back hard in the final round, but it just wasn't enough, and Android Jelly Bean takes this prize fight 4.5 to 4.4 and is your prize fight winner. These are 2 amazing operating systems that will only get better, but there's competition from Windows Phone 8 and Samsung's Tizen coming soon. I'm Brian Tong, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time for another prize fight.